This is the pre-lab video for the phase changes and heating curve lab. Now, if you are watching this video for the first time, what you want to do is pause it and go to Classroom and find the PowerPoint that is listed as the pre-lab, because there are things on page 38 that you want to copy down and answer the questions at the bottom. On page 39, there are adjustments to the procedure that you want to copy down into your packet. And then there is help on how to set up the graph. Make sure you have that done before you watch the rest of this video, because the questions at the end will ask some of the stuff that you should have copied down in the packet. It will be a lot easier to get those questions correct if you have this stuff copied down beforehand. And then at the end of the lab, there are questions that you should be able to answer. When you are doing this lab, you are going to use a 400 milliliter beaker. It says 400 on the side. Sometimes people look at it and think it's 300, but it's actually 400. One of the adjustments to the procedure is I want you to put in about 100 milliliters of water. You do not need to use a graduated cylinder. I just poured it directly into the beaker. It only has to be about 100. You are also going to use 2 ice cubes. You want to put that in there and let that start cooling down. Now you are going to need a thermometer clamp, and remember, anything you get from up front should be back up front. There are 2 types of thermometer clamp. This one has a sleeve that would hold the thermometer in it, and this one you would turn that to hold the thermometer secure. Now before you start anything else, what I would do is set up the ring stand with the iron ring about 5 inches or so above the Bunsen burner, it looks like. Just turn that on real quick. Make sure the iron ring's not too high. This one looks good, so I'm going to turn that off. We can put the wire gauze on top, or the wire mesh. Set the beaker on top, and now what we want to do is get the thermometer in place, because you want to start measuring the temperature of this water. And you could use a glass stir rod to stir it a little bit. When you put the thermometer in, you do not want it touching the bottom. And it's actually, for this experiment, it's a little better to have it up towards the top a little more. You also want to make it so the numbers are facing you, so you can actually read it. Now, give the thermometer a little bit of time to start recording that temperature. And you can stir it just to make things a little quicker. Remember, you never stir with the thermometer, and when you're stirring, be careful you don't actually break the thermometer. So I could tell when I'm doing this, the thermometer is over a little bit too far. So I'm going to fix that. So it's right in the center. And now when I stir, the ice cubes are able to go around it. What you want to do is record the temperature. And what you want to do is every 15 seconds write down what the temperature is. The initial temperature is time equals 0, and you record it every 15 seconds. And when you're recording this, make sure you go to 1 decimal place. The resolution on the thermometer is 1 degree Celsius, so you always estimate 1 place past what you know. So what you want to do is let this go for 2 minutes, and you are recording the temperature. After the 2 minutes has gone by and you've recorded the temperature every 15 seconds, you are then going to turn on the Bunsen burner. Now, the flame should be relatively low. Right? You don't want this heating up too fast, so something like that is pretty good. And you want to stir it. Another reason why you don't want the flame too high is you don't want to burn your hand right now. So when I'm doing this, I'm not even feeling the flame. I'm not even feeling the heat from that flame. And you are going to stir that. And again, record the temperature every 15 seconds. Eventually the ice is going to melt. You want to make a little asterisk or some kind of mark on here where the ice melts. And once that ice melts, you can stop stirring it, and you let it keep going until it boils. And you want to, after it starts to boil, you want to go for another 2 minutes. Now this is going down to 20 minutes. I don't think it's going to take that long. So don't be surprised if you stop your time maybe in half that amount of time or something like that. But once it starts to boil, you record it every 15 seconds for another 2 minutes. So basically you're starting at 0, you stir the ice water while you're measuring the temperature. Once it is melted, you put a asterisk on there where the ice is completely gone. You keep heating it. Once it starts to boil, you can stop stirring and you keep recording it for 2 minutes after it is boiling, every 15 seconds. You should then be able to draw a heating curve for that, and then you should be able to answer the questions. All right, remember, you do not stir with the thermometer. Make sure the numbers are facing you. You do not want the bulb of the thermometer low in that liquid. You basically just want it just underneath the surface of the liquid. And you should be able to do this lab pretty straightforward. It will not take you the full 20 minutes, I don't think. However long it takes, that's what you should go with. Just remember, do not have the Bunsen burner flame too high.